Welcome to the Pill Diaries. This is Craig. I'm in Serbia right now, wondering why these roads are so good without EU funding. It makes me think. So a lot of these, I just got denied entry yesterday to Macedonia. I've never actually tried to get in there before. It's the first time I tried. I had the correct insurance documents. They were telling me I didn't. It's just the old border scam. This used to happen in all these countries, Bulgaria, everywhere. Actually Serbia as well. What has stopped in Serbia apparently and in Bulgaria is the don't pull over for a police officer at night scam. I mean, not a scam, it's just don't do that or you get scammed or robbed. Anyway, so here I'm driving on non-EU roads that are perfectly smooth. What's wrong with Bulgaria? How come... I'm just going to have a bit of a nag at Bulgaria for a second, right? But besides the low standards, it's not just gypsies out there. It's just general low acceptance of low standards, right? The roads are just shit. And it's like everything you look at the country, either the Romans built, the Russians built, or the EU built. How can you build anything yourselves? Anyway, that's my nag and moan about Bulgaria there. Other than that, beautiful country. When you get a good person from Bulgaria, they're fantastic people. Other than that, many people are just good people. But there's a hell of a lot of horrible, yucky, not snidey, what's the word? They're just unaccepting of anyone who's from outside. Especially older women, I've found. Really like old babas and stuff like that. You get the odd nice one that'll smile at you, but that's only because she's dotery. Next day you'll wave at her and she won't respond. It's because she's got Alzheimer's. You know, I've seen so many of that in the villages and stuff. There's also a type of of mafia guy that you get who they're so dumb and they've come into money. You know how you get in any country in the world, you get people who come into money too easily, become an arrogant asshole. Well, you couple that with extreme stupidity, and that gives you the average Bulgarian mafia guy. So you go places like Varna, Bansko, you'll see a lot of them. Anywhere there's money, anywhere there's foreign money, building projects and stuff like that going off, that's where you'll find them, right? And of course, there's exceptions to the rule. I'm just saying, most who I've seen seem to be like that. So overall, I actually prefer Serbia. My brothers both speak Bulgarian, so they can get by in Serbia. I don't know, they just have better standards to it. That's what. It's a little bit more rundown in some ways, but that's because you haven't got EU money coming in. I think if you did, they'd do a lot more with it. They're a lot more happening people. Anyway, that's just my opinion. But at the same time, I can't be bothered with the sketchiness coming through borders like these countries, right? Montenegro, Strupska, all these places, these former Yugoslavian republics. That's a beautiful area. Yeah, it's just, to me, it's not worth having things confiscated and them stealing shit, or deciding that your money belongs to them, or why you're carrying this. I don't know. Just the sort of stuff that you fear in America. Not that it's going to happen out here. It's a lot more likely to happen in the prison states of America. United Corporations of America it is. But it still could happen. I just hate sketchy border situations. They say that absolute power corrupts, and that's not true at all. Because when you're a border guard, you have absolute power over the people who are entering through. It's an asshole who allows power to corrupt him. It's an asshole that uses power to help himself out, and to actually just to elevate himself above others, and basically use their position as a facilitator of evil. So today was just going to be about navigating this cesspit of a world that's filled with evil people. At the moment, I'm just trying to find all the places that I can travel between in Europe without getting given shit. You see, most people have got army pants on. That's one thing I noticed. The last few times I've been in Serbia and Bosnia and stuff, people still wear army pants from those days. So the thing you got to understand about this part of the world a lot of older people preferred it under communism. And that's probably why they're very suspicious of outsiders. So I'm just thinking to myself, do I really want to risk having a phone, operating a phone in my hand? Alright, that's the way. There we go. Sat nav was really dark, I couldn't see the screen. And now I have to turn around. It's going to allow me to see this. Oh yeah, so some of them look back in communism as former days of glory, a lot of these old babas and old men. And you can understand why that was. As much as people who are, I don't know, there's a low IQ Republican type who, no matter what they say, they always go against socialism. I'm not for socialism either, by the way. They always go against socialism and for capitalism, even though they got fuck all from the capitalist system. Even though the capitalist system that they keep on raving on about actually only really benefits the people at the top. So that would make them suckers, right? Well, I'm just going to pull over here because I don't want to risk getting done. So basically, those kind of people had, during communism, let's take Bulgaria for example. During communism, they would have maybe a flat in the city, and they would have a house in the countryside, and probably even a third place, right? Now, that's everyone putting into the system, not necessarily communism, just to, you know, there's a bit of a line, there's a big line between communism and socialism, although don't tell a Republican that. There's also a big line between crony capitalism and capitalism. Crony capitalism is effectively capitalism with socialism applied to the highest earners in society. So that all the taxes, for example, that get stealthily taken from the population get stolen and redistributed to the wealthy. And that is why we have what we have today, because there are no capitalist countries in this world. Well, yeah, I would really go so far as to say there is no capitalist countries in the world. You have varying grades of mixture between generally crony capitalism and socialism gone wrong. When I say socialism gone wrong, let me give you an example. Socialism gone right is Norway, although that's mixed with crony capitalism as well. Denmark, you know, good health system, good education system. Norway, Denmark, New Zealand, you could argue Australia and Canada as well. So these are the ones that the people like Styx, Hicks and Hammer and all these guys who I used to watch. That guy, he's become a lot dumber. I remember him being fairly smart, a bit of a right winger, but fairly smart. And now, don't get me wrong, I never class any right winger or left winger as smart, fully woke or intelligent or red pilled, because you cannot be. And one thing that really annoys me on minds.com is that people have it in their head that red pilled is a right wing thing. Maybe because red is the, you know, is right wing, whereas in the UK red is left wing. Just to wake you up on that one, same as in other countries like New Zealand and Australia. So these people under that system, they had so much more capital. Under socialism they had more capital. So just think about that for a second. So what the capitalism we have today is designed to take capital out of the hands of the many and give to the hands of the few. That's what crony capitalism is. That's why I can't open up a bank, because regulation stops that happening. Regulation makes it an uneven playing field, because I have to comply with regulations. They don't. Look at these cars here. They're called Yugos. That's the brand here in well, Yugoslavian brand. That's a Fiat, that one. Okay. Oh no, is it a Yugo? That's a Yugo. Anyway, sidetracked for a second there. So yeah, the thing that I'm going to end up doing is just mapping out Europe where the easiest place to get through is, because I don't want to risk my possessions at the border all the time. Why should I have to? And that's my capital. And that comes in with, I don't know, totalitarianism. Because there's one thing about being capitalist. There's one thing about defending your borders in such a way that, let's say, for example, right, I'm going to separate the argument of securing your borders against foreign infiltrators, right? So you got an army for that, like aggressive forces. I'm even going to separate it from securing it from economic migrants, right? I'm talking about, I'm Craig, I'm from Europe, I'm coming into the EU. Well, have you got anything to declare? Fuck you! Why the fuck do I need to declare anything to you? I'm from here, I live here, what the fuck's it got to do with you? Totalitarian control. You know? Authoritarianism. This is the problem with the whole world. Doesn't matter what system it is. The two problems in the world really are extremism, so extreme Christianity, extreme Islam, extreme whatever it is. If you're an extremist, you're an imbalanced person. Same as if you're a left winger or a right winger, you're an imbalanced person, right? And the other thing is authoritarianism. Because as soon as I can prove, even under a system of sovereignty, that I belong somewhere, what the fuck has it got to do with you? What I have, how many of them I have? You know, this really pisses me off. So this is the thing. Like, so say for example, you carry things like cigarettes or gold or whatever it might be. A thing that the border has shit with, weapons, whatever. Anything that border guards have shit with when you come through an airport. Think about that one. Now, if it's not against the law, so for example, tobacco and gold, you can buy them in the UK. You try bring them in, and now we got VAT tax. Why? Well, because it moved between a border. When you really start to dissect everything that every country has, you see how all of them are scammed. It's not just communism that's fucked up. It's not just socialism that gets corrupt, that does actually work to a degree, but then gets fucked up all the time. And the thing is, when I say it does work, it works for those people that want to live in a socialist country, and many people do. It would be a much better idea if you would take the maybe, I don't know, somewhere between 20 to 40%, depending on the country that you're, actually 20 to 60%, depending on the country that you're in, who wants socialism. And just maybe even in each country say, this is the socialist sector, this is the communist sector, this is the, you know, just divvy the country up like that. All right? Or else have them live in different countries. Just have an exchange program. A friend of mine came up with something, because he can't stand socialists, my friend Dean, and he said, he called it export socialism, right? He said for all those, so I'm just looking at a woman, all those, damn it, women always make me lose my focus, and yet I'm doing pretty well staying away from them. Bollocks. That's right, export socialism. So he said that the problems in the world, well, he just said with socialism, he said you take these goody two-shoes people, right, these social justice warriors, they have nothing else to do because they've crossed all the bridges, they've won all the battles, they've burned the bras, what now? And this is why you have looping that crazy shit, political correctness gone mad, right? PC gone insane, that's the levels that it's at now, right? So he said what you should do with those people, because their battles won, is make deals. Like, say for example, let's say you've got gay people who live in Iran and they face being stoned. Well, why not do an exchange program? If you're such a social justice warrior, then you wouldn't mind exchanging your place in Iranian society with a guy from Iran who happens to be gay, who wants to live over in Britain, right? Or Europe, whatever it might be. or a guy that is a communist living in America, and they're so anti-commie, let him live, I don't know, do an exchange program with someone from North Korea. Ta-da! Then you end up getting people that are not, they're still imprisoned by their governments, but at least they're imprisoned in the place that they want to be in. You know, rather than having all these dissatisfied people, it's like having two couples and they're both thinking, oh, I can't stand my wife. But if they were to swap, they'd both be happy. But yet they sit there, plod on through, no, that's my wife, and I'm hers. This ownership factor can really translate to other levels, eh? Like dogs and stuff like that. Dog is not treated well, give it to someone to look after it, you piece of shit, right? Same thing. You can translate this right across the board. Anyway, with that, I'm going to end the video. Yeah, choose your prison cell wisely, your open air prison camp, or do what I do and just don't live in any of them and just live between them. And that's the best way to get individual sovereignty. Because, by the way, the sovereignty of most nations is achieved by removing sovereignty from you collectively. Just remember that. All right. This has been Serbia.